All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to be working through how to set up your MyFitnessPal with all of your meals, starting from scratch. So here I went into settings. I'm going into diary settings. We're going to customize our meal names. So you don't have to do this. I just do this because I like being weird about it. So I'm going to change my meal names here to Spanish numbers. So uno, dos, tres, cuatro. And then we got a post-workout you'll see in here. And then I'll also add in a sixth option for snacks. So obviously every day you might not be using all of these, but most days I'll be using at least some of them. You can see I was struggling typing here. Bear with me though. Again, this is not needed. However, when you just download the app and you get it going for the first time, it's only going to have 4 meal options on there for you. So if you're having snacks and other foods, or changing up your meals daily, you might want to go add in those 2 extra meals so you have more entry possibilities. Then the next thing we're doing, go to our nutrition tab there, our diary tab, and you're going to turn on the smart copy for all of those meals. So by hitting those 3 dots on the right-hand side of the screen for each meal, you can turn on smart copies. What that means is you can copy meals from the prior day, from the prior week. You can go on there for certain meals from a week ago, whatever the case would be. It just makes it easier. So then I can go in there and I can swipe right on these meals. So right now, if you're looking at that Quattro one, if I swipe right, it would bring over the meal from the day before. So now I'm going to be just logging in all my food for the day. So you'll see later on in the video, I will go back there and I'll actually change all my, my macro goals that I'm trying to hit. But right now I'm doing this ahead of time. So I did things a little bit out of order, but that's all right. So I'm just logging all of the meals I'll be having that day. That's what you're going to see for the next little bit here. Whenever you have a barcode that you can use, so like for the protein that I'm using right here, I could go scan the actual barcode on the packaging. That's going to give me the accurate macros. So I clicked this one, that top MetaPure one, and were the wrong macros. So I need to go make sure I get the right ones, which there you see right there. So one of the downsides to MyFitnessPal is it's kind of like Wikipedia, meaning there can be 1,000 different entries for chicken breast or 1,000 different entries for chia seeds, as you see right here. So, I don't expect you guys to go out and look up all those specific exact numbers on Google. I'm trying to cut out some of that thought process for you. So by just finding the entries that are closest to what I have on your diet plan, the more accurate you're going to be. So I went in there, I found the right macros. Sorry, you keep seeing text pop up. Then same thing for chicken breast. You want to go find one that is very close in numbers to what I have written on your diet plan. On here, especially whenever you're doing something like chicken, you definitely want to make sure it says cooked on there and not raw. Again, you're seeing here there are a bunch of different options for green beans. I'm going to be using frozen green beans, so I'm just going to type that in and use one of those numbers that's closest to what I have written down on my diet plan. Changing the serving size, I always do this in ounces, especially with things like veggies. It's easier to weigh it than it is to measure it. Measure with like a measuring cup is what I mean by that. So I tried to do that one, saw that the numbers were not lining up accurately. So I went and found a different entry, which is much more in line with what I have. So all in all, this took me about, if you cut out all the extra stuff that I did showing you guys here on the app, it took me about 4 or 5 minutes to log all my meals from scratch without using, meals that I had logged before. So I'm actually going here and finding the right accurate ones. When you're first starting off, this stuff does take a little bit longer. But once you get the things all entered in there, once you're understanding exactly what it is you're looking for and how to do this stuff efficiently, it should only take you a minute or two to do this a day. And if you're eating the same things day to day, you can go in there and just swipe right. And then that allows you to make other adjustments if you're going to sub food in or out. if you're going to use a cheat meal or something else, and fit it into your macros. So there I'm going down to the nutrition tab to see where my numbers are at after I've logged in all that stuff and figure out what else I need to add in there. Now I just realized at this point I did not change my actual macro goals that I want to hit. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to do this is go change the calories close to what I have written for you down on your diet plan. So 3,400 calories for me. Then you can only, if you don't have the paid version, if you have the free version, you can only change by 5% increments, and those percentages need to line up with 100% of that 3,400 calories. So I went in there and adjusted those macros. Now, obviously, I know my goals, what they're going to be. For myself, it's going to be about 420 grams of carbs, about 250 grams of protein, and 70 to 80 grams of fat a day. So I might not be able to get those numbers exactly lined up on the goals setting side of the app, but I can make sure they add up to exactly those numbers. So whenever I'm giving you or my clients certain numbers to go hit, that's ultimately what you want to follow. I could set on here my goals be only 100 calories. I don't want to make a difference in what I'm actually eating because I'm just going to follow my diet plan or at least follow the macros that I've written down. And again, if you have a barcode, use it. And again, if you have, once you get everything logged into your app, this becomes, much more time efficient day to day. And the more you invest into learning how to do this stuff quickly, the more sustainable it's going to be long term. You're going to get to the point eventually where you understand the different macros, different calories, and all the different foods you're eating. If you're at a restaurant, you can kind of guesstimate much simpler than what you could do if you had never logged macros before. So you're just kind of getting a better feel and understanding of the value of the foods that you're eating. Once you understand that, then it's easier to be more intuitive with your eating and not, in a year from now and 2 years from now, you don't need to track every single day. And there we go. Looks like I'm a little bit short on carbs at the end of this logging. So now I need to go in here and add in my extra carbs, which I usually have about 2 bananas a day and or some mixed fruit. So even with banana, you're seeing there's a lot of different options in there. You want to go find one that's similar to the one that I have for you on your diet plan. So you just saw me change it from the serving size in grams to ounces instead. And there we go. Nailed those macros.